Hey guys, in this video I'm going to break down our top 8 tips that we teach our clients at the Property Lifestyle Network to ensure that they deliver their refurbishment projects on time and to budget. So tip number 1, always get multiple quotes. Even if you're dealing with or you have a preferred contractor, make sure you get multiple quotes so that your contractor knows they're going onto the job with a quote and not a guarantee of work. This will keep them honest when quoting. Tip number 2, always make sure you build your network in your local investment area. So it's vital that you have a strong network of contacts in your investment area that you can use on future refurbishments or any maintenance of any existing properties, especially if your preferred contractor is tied up on another job. So how do you do this? Well, by getting multiple quotes, it gives you the opportunity to meet other contractors in the area. If you're part of any communities or networks, reach out in those communities and networks and ask for referrals. But remember to always do your own due diligence on those referrals. And if you're looking for a specific trade, then you can use sites like Check a Trader. At least that way you'll know they have some form of quality. Tip number 3, always make sure you are 100% clear on what's included in the quote. Too often I speak with investors and they're upset about additional costs in a quote. And that's because they've asked the contractor to fit and install a kitchen. And once the job's done, there's no backsplash and there's no tiles above the work surfaces. And the contractor just turns around and says, well, that wasn't part of the original quote. So always make sure that you're 100% clear on what's included in the quote. Document that, and that will avoid any disputes down the road. Tip number 4, always agree a payment plan and make sure that you have 100% clarity on the cash flow requirements across the entire project. So make sure you've got tools and systems in place to be able to track and manage your payments against your budget and your statement of works, and that you agree payments at various stages of the job based on the work that's being completed. I would also advise that you build a retention into the contract, meaning that you hold a sum of money back that is to be paid to the contractor post completion of the work and any snagging that's needed on the job. Typically that's normally around 5% of the contract value. Tip number 5, project management. And this is key. Make sure you've got the right tools and systems in place to track your payments against budget and the agreed schedule of works. Also make sure that you're doing regular site visits. Too often we hear horror stories of investors agreeing a fixed price with a contractor, handing over the keys and hoping that in 3 to 4 months' time they'll get the keys back and the work will be completed. And that seldom happens. What ends up happening is they come onto site halfway through the project only to find they're 4, 5, 6 weeks behind schedule and they've overspent against the agreed budget. So it's vitally important that you have the right tools and systems in place that allows you to track your payments against your budgets and your agreed schedule of works, and that you do regular site visits to keep the contractor on their toes. Tip number 6, always build in a contingency. Most refurbishment projects never go 100% according to plan, and there are always unforeseen costs. Often there are things that are not visible at the time of quoting that will come up, especially if you're refurbishing older properties. So by building a contingency into the numbers, it allows you to deal with these unexpected costs without disrupting the flow or the progress of the project. Recommended contingency is anywhere between 10 to 20%, depending on the nature and the scope of the project. Tip number 7, make sure you've always got a contract with your builder. This just creates a structure, accountability, and protection for both yourself and the contractor. So it sets out the expectations, the budget and payments, the timelines, the quality standards. It deals with any change variations to the contract and any disputes that may arise through the course of a refurbishment. So it creates a framework for you to work with your contractor and just allows for a smoother refurbishment project. Tip number 8, and this is the big one, communication. Always make sure that you've got open lines of communication with your contractor. Refurbishment projects seldom go 100% according to plan. So by having open lines of communication, you're able to understand, or you are advised or notified when things are a little off track, and it allows you to then Work with your builder to either get the project back on track or to mitigate any costs that might have come up that were unforeseen. The other thing is, if you see anything on the project that's not to your standards, don't wait till you get to the end of the project to communicate that to your builder. Communicate there and then so that you can set the expectation, you give them the opportunity to put it right, and it sets the expectations for the project going forward from that point onwards. So always communicate with your builder. That is vital to the success of any refurbishment project. So there you have it, guys. Those are our top 8 tips. If you like the video, please subscribe or like and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this.